Early at the beginning of my spiritual journey, I heard a speech by Wayne Dyer in which he said, "When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change." It was actually one of his favorite quotes, and although it's attributed to many famous people, I believe the first person ever who said that was Max Planck. This seemingly simple quote intrigued me for some time, and eventually it made me try and see if there's something I can do about my world perception. I tried it, and it did work to some extent back then, but the full realization came out of nowhere more than 15 years later. In November of 2022, when I was waiting at a dirty train station in an industrial Eastern European city being a part of a crowd of tired and angry people, I looked around and I suddenly realized that I'm surrounded by love everywhere I look. The shift occurred because of my exceptionally raised frequency and loving attitude I had that day. It was immediately obvious that Wayne Dyer was right and that the way we look at things is open to interpretation and modification. And in this video I want to show you how it works and what you can do about it, because the shift in perception is responsible for improving the quality of your life or even changing it entirely. This is again one of these videos where you will have to pay attention to your screen for a moment. But first I want to ask you to change the way you see the 434 videos. I want you to shift your focus from taking the content that I've had to offer to you for free for the last 5 years to concentrating on what it is you can offer in return. Because this channel needs your support to exist. So if you have never donated, now would be the right time to change your attitude towards my work for you. All you need to do is go to the links in the video description and join Patreon or Subscribestar, donate using PayPal, Cash App, crypto or bank transfer. You can also schedule a donation-funded chat or buy merchandise. Your help is very important. Thank you very much for your generosity and your thoughtfulness. I want to show you a famous picture by Joel Goodman taken on the New Year's Eve of 2015 in the Manchester city centre. It's called The Creation of Manchester because of its Renaissance-like composition in comparison to the famous painting by Michelangelo called The Creation of Adam. Look at this image for a moment and see what kind of emotions you feel, and remember them. At a first glance, this photo seems to depict a perfect example of decadence and culture in decline. The first thing we notice is a struggle between police and a man on the ground. He's clearly an innocent victim of police brutality and oppression. Two ego-tripping officers are aggressively tackling a defenseless man who's already on the ground. Another policewoman is arguing with what appears to be a friend of that man on the ground in a clear display of arrogance on both sides. Not far from them is a drunk in the middle of the road, recklessly risking his life. As we can see, at any point he can be hit by one of the taxis visible in the background. On the left, there is a young woman with a selfish grin on her face, going about her business, paying more attention to the cameraman than to the horrible scene in front of her. Similarly, in the background, we can see a crowd of people completely oblivious to the drama that plays out in front of their eyes. A typical example of 21st century insensitivity and ignorance. This is clearly a very negative picture of how spoiled and heartless our society is today. Now, let's change the perspective using a mental switch we all have access to all the time, and let's try to raise our frequency for that particular experiment. I want you to look at the same picture now and imagine, or rather convince yourself, that this is an image representing love, joy and hope. What are we looking at? In the middle of the photo, we see 4 police officers selflessly doing their job with dedication on New Year's Eve, the most difficult night of the year. Not partying like the rest of us. No, working. They're making sure that all partygoers can survive the night without getting hurt or hurting each other. They're protecting the public, and we can see one of the policewomen making sure that no one else has to get troubled, and the other one even takes the time to explain it to somebody else who's already involved in this situation. This is a clear display of care and love for social order and others. The man on the ground in his state might be a danger to himself or others. He's possibly learning a valuable lesson here, and it might be even a life-saving event where his life turns around and maybe he stops drinking, changing his future in the process. We might be witnessing an important transformation moment here. That's a good thing. We can see a woman next to him, which possibly might be in a relationship with him, either as a partner or as a friend. Judging by her emotional involvement, she cares for the guy, and it seems that whatever happens, she will be there for him. Not far, we see a relaxed, jolly man on the ground who's busy drinking his beer and who knows that he lives in a country so safe that he can trust the drivers on the road not to run him over. He knows that he can relax in front of police as everybody respects the magic of this night. The woman on the left also enjoys living in a country so safe that she can happily walk alone in the middle of the night, not having to worry about getting hurt or attacked. She clearly enjoys herself and knows that the scene in front of her is nothing to worry about. From her experience, she knows that no matter the chaos, in the end, everything will be okay. The same can be told about the crowd in the background. They know it's all good and that there's no real danger. They're all relaxed and they're not getting involved minding their own business. They've seen it all before. They know that after all, this is a New Year's Eve chaos and it's all expected to be like this. This photo is a perfect example how lucky we are to live in a safe and relaxed society. And just like that, you're suddenly looking at a picture of trust and safety. This is a picture of compassion, fun, and order, as it all takes place on Wells Street. That switch you use to change your frequency, it is always there. The world is truly yours as it is what you want it to be. Your frequency is your world, and your world is your frequency. Think about that. You only process what your mind is prepared and willing to comprehend. Hence, you don't see things as they are. You see them as you are. In fact, it is a very good exercise in which you analyze the way you see the world and your life in order to understand what you project into it and what you're made of. That which you call reality is a mirror of your mind. It's a reflection of your beliefs, your life preferences, your hopes and fears. Everything changes according to your emotional state, and your emotions are controlled by diet, sleep, addictions, and so on. You control all of it. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is assume that your life and the world around you are limited and unattainable. These boundaries exist only within your belief and value system. Your perception is the world around you, and your image of the world dictates and affects your actions. Many are stuck in this oblivious cycle of self-manipulation. What's worse is that this is not the only mechanism of control you're subject to, as in this reality the importance of emotional perception is artificially amplified and promoted. It is made seem like it matters more than reality because your perception can be influenced and manipulated. Reality cannot. Not only do you fool yourself, but also you're being deceived to see things according to the agenda. You yourself are the window into the world, and it is important to keep it clean and transparent. The psychedelic insight showed me this process in form of a narrow vision lens that lets us normally see only a small fraction of the world around us, a type of a filter. It is created and defined by our limited knowledge and prejudices, and in order to see a wider spectrum of reality, we copy and paste it to create a full image of our worldview. In effect, a tiny part of understanding our reality is responsible for defining our whole existence here, and we end up with a flawed mechanism of perception that distorts our reality and our actions. I was told, your whole life is happening in your head, not outside of it. Your filter is your life. Your filter can be cleaned, fixed, replaced, upgraded, or removed. And that's why it is your job to make sure you keep an open mind and stay in high frequency, to see and accept the world the way it is. And then your job is to make it better. Because the world is made of loving energy, yet somehow we fail to see it through this broken window of perception of ours. How to change it? In my communication, I was instructed, use the 434 filter on everything you look at. Every aspect of your life when you want to learn something. Use first 434 filter and then see if you get any answers. Make an effort to see love, joy, and hope in everything because your development will only happen as a part of this process. Your access to all of this world's wisdom hinges on your perception filter. Knowing how to control it is a valuable gift. You will be able to see value and beauty where others see low frequency or don't see anything at all. What's more, the high frequency filter not only opens the door to the beauty of this world, it also grants you access to all the invisible wonders of the metaphysical and the divine. The same mechanism you use to change the way you look at that crazy Manchester picture is responsible for your ability to change your perception of reality around you. It is a simple matter of convincing yourself that you're surrounded by love everywhere you look, and understanding that, like in your case, other people's behavior is dictated by their ability to acknowledge and process the loving energy in this reality. That filter is your ego, and you're fully in control of it. Love 434. Let me know in the comments what your struggle with perception looks like, and please be that helping hand that makes the creation of 434 videos possible. All donation links in the video description. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and follow. Like this video and share it with everyone you care about. For merchandise, go to shop.b434.com. Leave your email address at news.b434.com. visit the website of the artist and the musician I featured here. For more info or contact, visit b434.com and join 434's social media on YouTube, Facebook, BitChute, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Reddit, Discord, Telegram, VK, TikTok, Tumblr, LinkedIn, Dailymotion, and a few other ones you can see on the screen now. All links in the video description and at b434.com.